to the Fight Card Podcast. From news, reviews, and interviews, follow up.
Fight.
Hello, everybody. Spider here once again. The Fight Card Podcast coming to you from San Antonio. My guest, Nick Velasquez, my man. How are you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good, man. It's too hot today. Been keep my ass inside, hoping it's been like that for everybody else too.
No, man. We were talking prior, man, and of course, I mean, you are in Austin, Texas, man. I mean, I'm that age where back in my day, it used to take an hour to get out there, bro. Now it's like 2 weeks. You got to take three outfits and some munchies, some snacks, bro. Because traffic, man. I mean, of course, everything in between here in Austin has been growing, man. There's a lot more traffic. A lot more things to see. I know everybody, hits the outlets and everything else before they get out there. But of course, man, I mean, I brought you in here for a few reasons, man. And of course, before we get into the questions and everything else that you're doing now, first of all, where are you from, bro? Because I know you said you migrated to Austin, right? I mean, you moved out there recently?
Yeah, so originally I'm from California. That's where I was born and raised. When I was 18, I joined the military, and that's how I ended up in Texas. And after I got out, I was like, man, Texas is pretty cool, and so I decided to stay out here.
And let me ask you, because of course, I mean, boot camp. What was boot camp at?
So I went to boot camp in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because I mean, we talked about the heat now, and I'm sure it's gotten hotter every year, man. I mean, I'm more than certain. But yeah, I mean, what did you think about the heat then? I mean, were you cool with it? And now that you're here, I mean, you're kind of like, hey, it's too hot
So you mean in Texas in general?
in Texas.
I mean, I guess I got the worst parts of it when I was actually in the military, when I had to wear like my uniform and train outside and whatnot with my gear on. So now that I'm a civilian, I could just wear whatever I want. So I mean, I guess I got accustomed to doing it with all that stuff on. So now it's like, I already went through the worst part of it, so it doesn't really bother me as much.
Now you can just wear was it flip flops and shorts, right? Walk around.
Yeah, less clothes the better.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, as far as California, man, I mean, you still have family out there, right?
What was that?
You still have family out there in Cali?
Yeah, that's where all my family's at. I don't really have any family over here, but I travel over there like every other month.
Okay, and have they came over here to visit you, man, out there in Texas?
Yeah, actually, so what are we in? August now? Actually, back in May, I had my dad actually came and visit me for the first time. That was
Cool,
pretty
man.
cool.
And did he come to Austin? I mean, did you guys hang out there?
Yeah, I'm not really that great at like planning, so we kind of just winged it. I had to take him to Texas barbecue. I took him over to what's that one big spot downtown? Terry Black's.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever eaten over there, but yeah, I did have him go check that out. We did a couple of escape rooms. That's one thing that my wife and I really like to do. So I got
Oh,
my dad
nice.
into it. We did that. Um, what else? Um, I think that's really it. We didn't really do much. I mean, just got to spend a lot of time and let him see how my life is out here compared to where we're from, and he had a really good time. It was pretty fun.
Oh, that's cool, man. And I mean, of course, how old is your dad? And you don't mind me asking, man.
Shit, pretty sure he's like 46. I know he's like 45, 48 range, something like that.
Still young, bro.
Yeah.
Well, and the reason I was asking, of course, because I just did my the first escape room, I think, like a couple of months back with my work, and
hmm
I don't want to say I'm not a fan of having fun. I mean, it's just not my thing. I don't usually go out there, but it was pretty cool, man. It's just the whole mind, thinking, and it was. I think we got one room where it was like we had to look for clues and look for patterns, and man, I was on it, bro. Like I'm good. I mean, when it comes to like I love CSI. I love all these movies having to do with investigation, and I was finding stuff before we even. They're like, oh, we're not supposed to look there yet, and I'm like, well, I found it. I'm unlocking locks and
Step
getting
ahead.
numbers and just kind of finding keys and everybody's like, okay, well, we're not there yet, and I'm like, well, it's already open, man. I mean, I don't, whenever y'all get here, just keep going, but yeah, man, it was pretty cool, man. I enjoyed it. It's fun. Was that the first time your dad had gone to something like that?
No, actually, when I think a couple months beforehand, when I was out in California visiting him, we went to LA and we did this really dope escape room. It was actually his very first one. It was actually one of the coolest ones I've ever done. It was
Yeah.
some like serial killer one. It was like really interactive. We had like an
Oh,
actual actor in there, like in a cage. It was really cool. I had to do the thing. What was it like? This vending machine, and we were
yeah.
outside of but before we actually even entered the building. like we were like, is this place closed? Like what the heck? And then like I was looking at the vending machine and I'm like, oh man, I feel like this is a part of it. This is kind of weird. So I was looking at it and then I ended up like pushing the right button because I saw something in there and then it opened it and then we got inside and
Oh,
actually met the staff. It was actually really cool. And then yeah, my dad had a really good time and I think the one that we did out here was probably like a second or third one.
okay, cool, man. Well, yeah, dude. I mean, I'm hoping, one of these days I'll go back and do something like that, bro. But man, I mean, of course, you landed here in Austin. I mean, or in Texas, right? But I mean, why Austin, man? What was it about Austin that you liked?
So, while I was in the military, I mean, I don't know if you've ever been in Killeen, like it's a surrounding city of Fort Hood. Just a really bad spot, and there's really nothing to do. So, like the closest big city that was near
Yeah,
Killeen was Austin. So my wife and I would always go down there, and every time we went down there, I was like, dang, like we can only do so much in a weekend because we would go out there every couple weekends or whatever and like explore. So, when I was getting close to transitioning out of the military, I was like we were like we want to live like as close as possible to Austin, but not in Austin where we spend so much money because it's
yeah.
it's like any big city in the country, you're gonna pay an arm and a leg to live
Oh
there.
yeah.
So we actually live in a city called Leander. It's like about like 20, 30
Okay.
minutes away from
Oh,
Austin. So like close enough where like literally like 10, 15 minutes, I'm in Austin, like North
yeah.
Austin. And then a little bit longer, I'm in South Austin where all the shit's at. So it's pretty cool.
Nice, man. And yeah, bro. I mean, I know. I mean, Austin has grown. I mean, when it comes to the millionaires, coming over here, you got now I guess you guys are paying that Facebook tax now, right? I mean, I know, Zuckerberg is out there. I mean, there's a lot of money. I mean, a lot of celebrities are moving out there. It's always been, music capital. It's always been a movie capital. It's always been like the it place when it came to entertainment. And but yeah, it's always good traffic. I mean, a lot of movie stars do live out there in that area, man, and I mean, for one or the other, they live out there, so of course, everything went up with them, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But man, but I mean, now that you're there, bro, I mean, as far as living, I mean, are you planning on just sticking around, or are you looking at heading back home?
Definitely not going back. That's for
Uh,
sure. The only reason I ever go back to California is like for my family, check up on them, see how they're doing. For my family, I miss them. I want to go see them, but
yeah,
I'll really come from a really good spot, so that's the main reason why I joined the military, just kind of like an escape route.
nice.
But for one, I really love Texas, and for several reasons, California sucks. But this specific place where I'm from is just a really good place to raise a family where I want ever want to be back at.
No, no, I hear you, man. And yeah, bro. I mean, for the most part, I mean, I grew up here in San Antonio, man. I mean, I've lived here for pretty much all my life. I lived in Florida for a few years. Atlanta, I was out there for like a year and a half for work. But I always came home. I mean, everybody was here. I'm not super close with my family. There's like eight of us running around, but it's like I always keep to myself for the most part. But I like it. As far as the cost of living's fine. Fine. Pay wage is fine. It's like, I mean, if I go anywhere else, I know I'm gonna be like, damn, dude, I'm gonna pay how much for freaking rent or got my mortgage finally cheaper than my rent was a couple years back, man. So I'm
Hmm.
happy with that, bro. But man, I mean, when it comes to this hustling thing you're doing, man, because before, we're gonna talk about your company now, Nvious. Yeah, I mean, before this, what were you doing, bro?
So directly before this, I was actually I was reselling shoes like Jordans, Yeezys, stuff like that, like more rare sneakers, and a little bit of clothing like like Supreme and Denim Tears, Bape, all that kind of stuff. I
Yeah,
did that for a few years when I was in the military. Like, well, even when I was like 16 years old, I was doing that for X amount of time. I did it. I got into it full time after I joined the military, and it was like the first time where I had a lot of time to actually invest into it. And yeah, that's what I was mainly doing. But then I felt like I wanted to grow a lot more.
yeah,
And my old name used to be Nick Got Bricks. And it was just like a funny name. I mean, for people who really like are in that community, like,
yeah,
so the term brick in the resale community means like it sits like it's some shit that people don't want. Like either it's like just an ugly shoe, it's overpriced, whatever.
yeah.
So someone said that to me as a joke. I'm like, oh, the name kind of sticks. I thought it was funny. But then, I've always been ambitious, and I feel like I could only go so far with that.
Right.
Like who's really gonna take me seriously with that? And I was talking to my wife, and she's actually the one who came up with the name change because my initials are NV, Nick Velasquez, and the word envious is like has it in there, and we just were like, oh, just just do NV and just take the E out, and like kind of went with it, and I was like, wow, that's actually really fucking cool. I was like,
Yeah, dude.
so I like to give her credit for it, especially whenever I talk to anyone about it. because like she's very creative and she like has always been like that. But yeah, like back in December is when I did the name change, and I was like, wow, like this can be so much more. Like I could really like turn this into like a clothing brand or something. And yeah, I've been just trying to grow with it. So yeah.
No, for sure, man. And I mean, when it comes to the shoes, bro, because I gotta ask, I mean, what was it about, tennis shoes that got your attention? I mean, was it the style? Was it the brands?
So actually, when I was like back in high school, my younger brother Isaac, he was actually the one who got into it first,
Oh, okay.
and he would just like wear like different pairs of shoes all the time, like trading it with people, buying it, whatever. And um, he got me into it. I was always a big sports fan. I like watching basketball, football, stuff like that. And at first, it started with like I liked having different pairs of shoes to wear every day because then people would be like, "Oh, you have a whole collection or whatever." I'm like, yeah, sometimes I do, or I'm just like I just like to have different stuff. You know what I mean? Like I like to always be changing. And then I started realizing like how much money was in it. And I started realizing that it could be so much more than just wearing the shoes or what, like like the community behind it. I was like, this could be profitable. So then I started getting into actually making money off of it while I was still in school. And then when I got out of high school, I was doing it for like my main source of income.
Nice, bro. No, yeah, man. I mean, it seems like the whole reselling thing. I guess like during COVID, people were home, people weren't working, so everybody was out there hunting, man. And I mean, I was doing it before COVID, and I actually got into like vintage everything. Like when it came to wear to for games, toys, action figures, bro. Like I was doing great, man. I mean, I was killing it. Making I had three booths that I used to run, and me and my girl we used to just set up and sell. And we were doing pretty damn well, man. Like we were bringing
Hmm.
money, and like during COVID, that's when I noticed like more people were selling. Like we were the only ones that were, I mean, at one point I was the only one that was selling vintage toys out there, and I was like, okay, so I had the market, man. And I used to, my thing was like I would find stuff for like a quarter, a dollar, and they're selling for like 15, 20 as far as like vintage action figures, man. And I was selling for
Hmm.
like five, bro. I was selling cheap enough to where like other resellers would buy them, and I'm like, dude, as long as I'm making my money, like
Hmm.
they can hustle for theirs, and that's the way it was, and but after a while, I just noticed like, man, I couldn't find anything. I was got be. I mean, I was a contract delivery driver. I was driving everywhere. I'm delivering furniture. I'm stopping at garage sales and thrift stores and flea markets. I mean, you name it, bro. I was everywhere, man. And I mean, I was always finding stuff. And after a while, I just hit a dry spell, and I was like, damn, like okay, like everybody else is out there looking for this stuff now, and so I just decided to close shop, and that was it. I wasn't no harm, no foul, because it was a lot of work, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I mean, it was like full time job. On top of what I was doing, it was a full time job, just having to reset and rebrand and repackage. And so yeah, those that are still doing that, man, more power to them, man. But it's a hustle, man.
Yep.
But yeah, dude. But of course, I mean, as far as reselling, dude, I mean, there is a market. There's still a market for it. But I mean, now, like you mentioned, you can only go so far with it, and I mean, without not. I mean, you can do it, and I'm sure you could have still done your brand. But I mean, it's better to concentrate on your brand and just grow with that, right?
Yep.
And I was gonna ask too because I mean, when it came to the name, so Envious, I mean, it was your initials, but I mean, was there anything else behind it? I mean, once you branded that name, I mean, were you kind of like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna be ambitious about it, or did anything else come out of it?
So what do you mean, like if like what there's if there's more meaning behind the name?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So actually, it's taken a little bit of time to like really like explain the symbolism behind it and whatnot. But like the more I've really like invested in the time into it and like really cared about like growing it, I've really started like unlocking different ways of explaining it to people. So like for example, to be envious like in general, like it could be like misconstrued as a bad thing, but it could be also be a good thing. It
Yeah.
just depends on how you explain it. Like for me, um my bad, I'm kind of losing my train of thought. But so like growing up, like I've always wanted more, and I used to have the wrong vision of being inspired by somebody, and it could be like looked at as like me feeling envy towards somebody. But
Yeah.
then sometimes, like when you look at it in a different way, like it could be like turn into something positive, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do. But and I like want it to be like more of a movement. Like
Okay.
I'm like having a hard time explaining it right now, but like what I mean by that is like hold on, I gotta pull my notes real quick. Um, it's like, so for me, I've had a hard upcoming, and I like try. I want my brand to be like a way of expressing myself, and I
Right.
want it to inspire other people. That like just because they've been through certain things doesn't mean that like you gotta like roll over and just give up and just work a 9 to 5 or something, you know.
Yeah.
So instead of like using the circumstances that you've been through as like to be discouraged to do something, use it to like empower you to want more and like be a good role model for like people like you care about. You know what I'm saying? So um the like the brand like behind the whole thing like means a lot to me because it reflects my own journey, and like I've been through like anything you think of, like betrayal, like rising from the bottom, like a lot of messed up stuff, but like it's like a testament to my journey personally, and like what look at it in the long run, I really want it to be a way of like giving back to like people who have been through similar things as me. And I want to create something that motivates other people to like just keep growing in life and not just fall over and give up really. So that
No,
was
for
kind of a
sure.
shitty explanation. I wasn't really prepared to explain it, but
No, no,
that's like
no,
the best I can
definitely,
do.
man. And I was gonna say too, bro, because I mean, with the MGS suit, I mean, it's for me, and the way I see it, man, it's like an umbrella company because it can be
Hmm.
up here, and then, dude, you can have footwear, you can have sportswear, you can have, there's so many things that can grow under it, man. And I mean, that's why I like it because it's short, but it's powerful. You know what I mean? The meaning behind it can be, it can mean a whole, different things, but that's a good thing because I mean, not everybody goes through the same struggle that you go through, I go to. So when they're thinking envious, they're like, oh man, they could think, you know what I mean? Like it can be something else totally different, but at the same time, it can motivate them to do something else as well, because I mean, I've tried the whole brand thing, dude. I mean, with the whole combat sports, at one time, man. I mean, I had like two different t-shirt companies, and I had like a good momentum, man. And it's just my thing back even back then was as much I couldn't get it across. People were like, oh yeah, I like it, I like this or I like that design, but it was just hard for me to sell it, because it was me, But if I was like, dude, if I would have had a team of just salespeople, I know it would have sold. You know what I mean? Because it's just hard, like for me to go up to my neighbor and be like, hey man, I've got you know, fight gear, man, and they're gonna be like, "What the hell is that?" But if I had a salesperson to go out there and actually like, "Hey, you know what? This is what it means. This is who's wearing it." And at that time, I had like local fighters, bro. I mean, I had like fighters in Alaska and California and Florida,
Damn. Oh
wearing this
damn.
stuff, man. And it was it got big too quick, and that was my fault, But at the same time, I was just like, okay, well, you know what? I learned from it, and as far as what to do and not to do, and it's just it was just a tough lesson. But the majority, man, it was just hard because I depended on other people, and they weren't dependable, So it just kind of like
Mm.
crumbled, and when they didn't go through, everybody's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, they didn't care, they didn't put money into it, they didn't put time into it, and I was like, okay, well, now I know, man. So I just after that, everything I did myself, and I just stuck with it. I just figured I'm gonna do as much as I can, and whatever I can't do, I'm not gonna mess with it because I'm just gonna waste my time and money, But yeah, man. But I mean, I like it, bro. I mean, the fact that you're still young and you're still growing yourself, man. I mean, I know it can maybe in 5 years it'll be something completely different, just because you've grown and you've actually, looking at different views, different angles at life and everything else. But yeah, bro. But I mean, dude. I mean, so we're talking about the gear, man. You actually got two bad dudes that are actually wearing this stuff, man. So tell us about this angry looking man over here, bro. This guy's a powerhouse, man.
So, you want to talk more about Crazy Hawaiian first or Larry Wheels?
No, man. Let's talk about Larry first, man. Shoot.
All right. So, long story short, while I was actually in Vegas, after the Crazy Hawaiians last fight, what was that, back in June?
Yeah.
I was actually, it was like, what was it, Saturday night or Sunday morning? Sorry, it was the day before I was supposed to fly back to Texas. I wake up and Koa, that's his real name, he came up in the room and he was like, "Hey, you got another day in you to stay out here?" And I was like, "I have to talk to my girl, but what's up?" And he was like, "You know Larry Wheels by chance?" I was like, "Bro, who doesn't know who Larry Wheels is?" Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, he wants to fly me out to or he wants me to come out to LA and he wants me to slap him." I was like, "Bro, are you for real? Like, slap him? Like, willingly?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, he straight up DM'd me. He was like, "Hey, like, I watch your fights, blah, blah, blah. Wanted to see if you'd be down to let me slap you and then have you slap me. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So, call my girl, make sure it was cool. We had any plans for the week. So, um, we ended up keeping the rental we had, drove all the way to LA, got an Airbnb for like 2 nights. And then the next day, what was it, like Tuesday or something like that? We met Larry at his gym in whichever city it was in LA. Like showed us around everything. And while we were walking, oh, it was actually Cole's idea. He was like, "Hey, like, do you think you have a shirt in his size? Maybe you could try it on or something." I was like, "I've never seen the guy in person. He looked like a pretty big dude. Hopefully, he could fit like a 2X because that's the biggest I got in hand
Yeah.
right now." So, if you guys ever watched the video, he's the one who brought it up. He's like, "Hey, big cool thing if you could throw this on and like give him a shout out or whatever." So, yeah, he slapped it on. It was actually his size. It was pretty cool. And then yeah, we got down to business. Koa showed him how power slap works, how to train and everything. And then after all that went down, they got like pads and everything. And uh, Larry slapped Koa first, didn't even phase him at all. Like just ate it, and then yeah, Koa did his business, slapped him, and just yeah, you
Bro,
know the
I
rest.
saw that, man, and yeah, dude, when he slapped the crazy in Hawaiian, I was like, man, was he trying? I mean, it just didn't look like he put much into it, man. I don't know, maybe it was out of like fear or I don't know, man, but yeah,
Hmm.
it's like, I mean, that's a crazy sport, man. But yeah, slap fighting, dude. I mean, of course, I mean, I posted the image earlier, but I mean, when it comes to the Hawaiian, bro, of course, you're sponsoring the guy, man. I mean, he's literally doing big things, bro. I mean, the whole slap fighting movement. I mean, it's blowing up. There's a lot of like noise behind it. But how did that come about, man? As far as you sponsoring them?
So, um, man, so this was a little while ago. I think it was a little bit before I think he won the title. Power Stop was really starting to grow, because I mean the whole sport's really like as big as it is because of him. And anyone else thinks otherwise needs to do their research. But anyway, um, fun fact: he's married to my cousin on my dad's side, and that's how like we got a little bit more connected. I've actually known him for a long time back, like when like they've been dating since I was like I think like 17, 18 years old, and that's how long I've known him.
Oh
And then
wow.
once like he started growing with Power Slap, I just like recently started taking like reselling seriously. I was trying to grow a little bit, and I was thinking to myself, oh, I wonder like if maybe I can like like get into like sponsoring him or something like that. Maybe get my name out there, and had a conversation with him. His brand ethos, like him as a like his like as an athlete and like his persona and everything fit like a lot of like my upcoming and like or my upbringing, and it just matched, and it really flowed together. So we ended
Nice.
up working something out, came to an agreement on a bunch of stuff, and um, before I did the name change, he actually did a little cool video for me. I sent him a care package with like some Yeezys in his size, which is very hard to find because he wears a size 14. I got something for my cousin, all their kids, some Crocs and whatnot, and then like a bunch of collectibles and stuff to put in his little training area or
Yeah.
his what was it, like his little gaming area at his house, something like that. And then um he brought up to me that he was gonna have a big fight in Vegas to defend his title, and he was like, "Hey, you want to come out? Maybe make some custom shoes for me or something." And that's what I ended up doing. So, um, you can't really see it on camera, but if you see, like if you look a little bit more into it, he's wearing a pair of the custom shoes that I had this guy named JSM work on for me, and
Nice.
had some pretty dope custom stuff and defended his title in it. But yeah, that's really about much it, like how it all started.
No, no, for sure. And I mean the sport, man, because I mean it's heading to Abu Dhabi, bro.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's gotten big, bro. And it's just like, I mean, I know at the beginning it was one of those like people kind of cringed at it and they were like, man, you know what? Like it's not for everybody, But I mean that's
Hmm.
the same thing with every other sport, I mean, like I'm not big with some sports and some I am, just depending on what's going on. But yeah, man, it's a whole different platform. They do have the momentum. I mean, Dana White pushes it like crazy. Of course,
Hmm.
he's behind it 100%. And the fact that of course, Dana White, dude. I mean, when it comes to what he's done in the sport, man. I mean, this is where this man right here comes in, bro. This is another athlete that you're out there sponsoring, man. And of course, I personally know Jeff Neal, dude. I mean, I've known him, when he was an amateur here. in Texas. You know, I actually sponsored the guy back in the day. You know, great dude, man. I mean, everybody that he trained with during that time was a beast, bro. Like there was a lot of growth out there in the Killeen, you know, area, dude. I mean, they were out there, and it was. I never asked him, but I don't know if it was just like the whole like, you know, we're a small town compared to other cities, you know, like if it was just more motivation for them to like stick out, you know, because
Hmm.
I mean, they were hungry, man. I mean, they, you know, Jeff went out there. He was fucking, you know, he was taking heads, bro. And a lot of them were, you know, they were just out there, you know, doing damage and getting wins, you know. But yeah, you know, the guy's fighting, you know, like I mentioned in Abu Dhabi, man. He's going to be out there, you know, UFC 308. You know, it's going to be, you know, the guy, you know, of course, you know, he's still ranked number 8. And he's welterweight. I mean, humble dude, man. I mean, respectful. You know, I mean, I know his dad. I mean, it's just like, you know, and it shows. You know, I mean, there's a lot of that humbleness, I guess, instilled in him. You know, because he
Hmm.
doesn't talk much, bro. He's cool. He's chill. You know, but it's one of those like you wouldn't see him, you know, as a fighter, as far as him doing as much damage as he does, because he just looks, you know, like he just looks laid back. But yeah, man, I mean, he goes in that cage and flips that switch, man.
Yep.
But you know, but once again, dude, I mean, you know, you're sponsoring this guy, man. You got 2 heavy hitters when it comes to athletes already under your banner, man. And of course, you know, I mean, it's just growing and keep pushing this product, bro. Because of course, I mean, you have some of the shirts behind you, you know, but when it comes to gear, man, you know, I mean, of course, you know, I think I posted it up here, man. But I mean, as far as your website, I mean, that's where everybody can go get it at. You know, on social media. I mean, I know you are on Facebook and Instagram. I know for a fact, man, you had brought that up, and I posted it up here. But I mean, you are planning on doing a giveaway the fight week of Jeff's fight. You know, that's going to be in like, well, the week before his fight, right? Of course, in October. But I mean, do you know already as far as what you're going to be giving away?
Um, not necessarily. I'm kind of trying to think about like exactly what I'm gonna do,
Yeah,
but I think it's really dependent on what designs I actually move forward with and actually make. I don't
nice.
really want to. I mean, I'll hint at a little bit, but I have some really like big ideas
Okay.
for like the entire event as itself. You know, like I got a UFC fighter and a power stop fighter. You know, I'm
Yeah.
sponsoring, so um I've got some pretty cool stuff in the works right now, and I'm thinking of like something specific that I'm probably gonna give away like once it's made. But I've kind of hinted at it already. What I'm planning on doing is I'm gonna do like an Abu Dhabi like themed drop, and I'm gonna do like hoodies, shirts, and then like something else. I don't really want to say it because that's really the
Oh
big one
yeah.
that I'm really excited about. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. Like whoever ends up winning it, it's gonna be really happy. That's the best
No,
best
and I
thing
was
I can
gonna
say
say
on it.
too, man. I mean, you don't necessarily want to say it yet because I mean everybody's got to follow you, right? I mean, you're gonna be posting this on your social media outlets, so of course, you know, with those that are watching this, I mean, that you know, follow you on Facebook. When it comes to Instagram, I mean, I know both names are under the same name, right? I mean, Envious. I think it's
Mhm.
I. Is it the same as the website on Instagram?
Yeah, it's I tried making it just envious, but some like random account has it, and I don't know how to really go about that. So I just made it similar to what my website is, just envious.io, so it's easier to find.
Oh yeah, bro. And I was gonna say it makes sense, dude. I mean, because either way, whether they you know, get on the search bar and look up your website or Instagram, you know, your links on there so they can still follow you. But yeah, man, I mean, everybody go out there, you know, follow you on both you know, as far as platforms, that way they can see what they're gonna, you know, what they can win, you know, because of course I'm sure it's gonna be something pretty dope. Um, but yeah, man, I mean, of course, Abu Dhabi, man. I mean, military, dude. I mean, did you actually get to travel outside the country?
Yeah, so back in like what was it, 2019 to 2020 for like not about a little under 9 months, I actually went to South Korea.
Oh man,
So man, honestly, it was probably like the probably like most fun I've had anywhere else from where I'm comfortable at, like all my life. Like it was the nightlife out there is crazy. Like they don't stop partying until like 6 o'clock in the morning. And the only reason why like sometimes we would stop partying is because my like our units would make us come back. Like we weren't allowed to stay at like certain times and whatnot. But yeah, that Korea was cool. Yeah, and that was really fun. I didn't get to do much else. I mean, before I got out of the military, my unit I was with
yeah,
actually went to Germany and Italy, and they tried to convince me to like to reenlist, but I was just ready to get out. I mean, I don't have any regrets
yeah.
at all about like getting out because I mean I knew my time was up, but I would have liked to actually go over there and like see what it was like. But I already know eventually, the way my life is and how much I like to travel, I'll probably end up going there anyway. Under my own terms.
No, no, for sure, man. And I know earlier you did say you mentioned South Korea, man. You said they party till 6 in the morning. I was gonna say that you say South Korea or San Antonio, man, because that's how we do it here, bro. We don't stop, bro, till it's time to go to work, man. Nah, bro. No, but yeah, man. I mean, of course, great times, dude. I mean, the fact that you landed here in Texas and you're here, man, and doing big things, man. I mean, of course, Austin's pretty much, if anything, one of the great cities to grow in because there's so much going on. Like I mentioned earlier. I mean, when it comes to celebrities, when it comes to athletes, I mean, here in San Antonio, man, like we'll be lucky. I mean, as far as I used to work at Academy. I've worked for Academy Sports for years, bro, on and off. I've always been there part time. I enjoy working there. I like it, but I mean, in one location, like we used to run into like the celebrities every time they fly in. It was close to the airport, so they would stop at Academy and we'd see him. We'd be like, oh damn, dude, like this guy's somebody. I'd be asking around, and they're like, oh yeah, that's so and so, and got to meet a lot of cool people, man. Take some photos, for the most part, I would see him and I would just kind of greet him like, hey, what's going on, man? Like, welcome to Academy. And I mean, cool dudes, man, cool stuff, cool opportunities. But, I mean, those are always hit and miss, because sometimes I wouldn't stop there. But I mean, when it comes to Austin, I'm sure back in the day, we used to walk around, Fifth Street, Sixth Street, it was crazy, man. But we used to run into a lot of people too, man. It was pretty cool, man. I liked it. Now let me ask you, bro, with this brand. I mean, of course, it is a streetwear brand. Like I mentioned earlier, I mean, for me, it seems like an umbrella company, man, because there can be so much more growth. Have you thought about pursuing something or further? I mean, of course, gear. I mean, as far as when it comes to wear, I'm sorry. As far as shirts, hats. I mean, but as far as like maybe even like pursuing, like the music, when it comes to people being wanting to wear this stuff, man, because of course it hits everything, man. It hits everything from sports to music to, I mean, you name it. I mean, the platform's open so much that you can do a lot. You can go different ways with it, man.
Yeah, so I'm kind of just like I'm playing it by ear, like trying to take advantage of every situation that like I'm lucky enough to come across, like getting the exposure I've already gotten like through the Crazy Hawaiian, and because of him, a lot of like the growth that I've had already, like at a faster pace than if I was just to be doing it like by myself, not having that, you know what I mean? So
Right.
like for example, when I was in Vegas after his fight, they had an after party, at the Fountain Blue, like where the fight was at the High Roller area. Man, that like literally met so many celebrities that night, and I wasn't trying to be that guy. I wasn't be like, oh, let me get a picture with like literally everybody, or like like just doing too much. Like everyone's just trying to enjoy their time. But I did a lot of networking. I got some phone numbers. And I got in contact with a few. I think primarily like a few NFL players.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to jump on that and see how that goes. I mean, and fun fact, I'm a huge Eagles fan, and one of the players isn't on the Eagles. We just drafted him. That's all I'll say. I can't say. I don't. I mean, I'm sure someone could do process elimination, but yeah, I'm ready to get some of these designs in already, so I could start branching off into different places. Like luckily enough, I've been like in the athlete side of sponsoring so far. I think what I'm trying, like I want to eventually get to also is probably like like music artists, because they influence a lot when it comes to um like fashion, I guess, you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
mean more often than not, athletes really care about like performing in their respective sport, you know what I'm saying? Like music artists, I mean, like, yeah, they're still professionals what they do, but like it's more like just making music, and they have like a whole team of who help with all this stuff they do. You know what I mean? Like it's just two different realms.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I still want to stick in the like sports side of things because I love sports, but I also got to look at the big picture and grow. I also want to get into like eventually like I bust down that door, eventually get like one rap artist,
Yeah.
whoever eventually. So that'd be cool too.
No, man. You see, and I was gonna say too, bro, because I mean, when it comes to music, I mean, I personally, I mean, I love music, man. I mean, of course, I don't listen to everything, but one of the reasons why I like it is because it's so powerful that it can change your mood. Like literally, you can put a song
Mhm.
on, you can be happy. Next song, you can be sad. Next song, you can be angry. I mean, it's that powerful that you just you know, a lot of fighters use it for their walkout because they get pumped up. You know, the same with everything else. You know, it's just, I mean, it goes with everything, bro. And you know, I mean, I'm a big you know, horror movie buff, man. So I love music just for the fact that, you know, when they play it in certain movies, man, it sets the pace, you know. And it can be something completely different compared to the song. Like it can be a slow song, but there's like somebody, you know, slasher running around killing people, but it's just kind of like an oxymoron a lot of times too, man. And it's you know, I love it, man. I mean, you know, I've been a big music fan when it comes to you know, back in the day. I mean, in the '90s, I used to distribute vinyl, right, like records,
Oh,
bro, like
dang.
albums. And you know, it was one of those things that, like, I was like 20, early 20s, man, and I was like, dude, I was working with like 5 different music labels, you know, from Germany, from England, you know, from here in New Mexico. I mean, you name it, dude. And these companies were like sending me boxes, bro. Like they're like, hey, I'll send you stuff. Can you sell it? You know, I'll give you an invoice. Just send me back a check. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you know. And they were sending me like stocks of just everything. You know, here I am selling out of my trunk. You know, going to these clubs. You know, here in San Antonio, and Austin, and Houston, Corpus, and just popping my trunk and just selling, dude. And it was wild, man. But it was like, I was young, so I didn't pursue it, man. 'Cause I could have definitely done something, you know, gotten something bigger out of it, man. But I mean, I had fun, you know, because of that. I mean, I started an underground magazine that I used to, you know, type up and print up back in the day, right? Cut and paste. And, you know, it got me it opened a lot of doors, dude. I interviewed bands from all over the world. I'll say this, man. I've been networking like since like I used to have to write letters, bro, because we didn't have internet, dude. So I used to write letters
Damn.
to bands in like three weeks, like a month and a half later, here I am getting the letter back, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, man, I can start on the next issue, you know. And I mean, it was crazy, but it was, you know, different times, you know. It's like a click of a button, you know. I'm talking to somebody across the world, right? But yeah, man, it's always been in me, man, and it's just one of the things that I enjoy, you know, is talking to people, getting to know as far as their experience, their background, you know, what they're doing and what they're looking to pursue. So that's pretty much where networking happened for me, man. So I've been
Mhm.
around for a minute, bro, but yeah, man. But of course, like I said, dude, I mean, you're still young, man. I mean, what else are you pursuing, bro? Because of course, I mean, you know, you got out of the military, of course, man. I mean, you know, thank you for your service, brother. But I mean,
Appreciate
is
it.
there more that you're kind of pursuing as far as like, you know, I mean, as far as life, dude? I mean, because obviously this brand picks up and takes off. I mean, that'd be great. But are there other things, other outlets?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like at the end of the day, like everyone, like anytime someone has like, a dream or an idea, like they want it to work out, but like I want to be like, I mean, even though I fully believe that this really will turn into something, I still want to have like others, sources of income, other backup plans just in case, because I'm not going to be an idiot. So I also sell on Amazon, and I'm actually working on a startup program to help people because for like over a year now, I've had people always ask me like, "Hey, can you help me get started?" I've seen how successful you are with it, blah blah blah. And I'm not here to like really like charge an arm and a leg to help people get started, but at the same time, my time is very valuable, and
Right.
it's like I know it's something that you'll never get back, no matter how much you charge somebody. So, you know, um, after I'm done working on that, I already have like like at least like 10 people that are ready to get started and
Nice,
then
bro.
help them. You will do that. So yeah, like selling on Amazon, trying to coach people up to get started on it. And what else am I? I'm thinking about starting to resell shoes again, but right now, like it's just the market's really kind of crap. A
Yeah.
lot of work for a small amount of money. Like I
Oh
just feel like
yeah.
there's so many other things. Like
The
I'm
turnaround.
growing up like when I was younger, like when I first started reselling, I've always been a hustler. I've always liked to do different things of making money. Like if there's a way to make money, then I'm in it. I don't care. Like I want to even start like getting into like reselling cars. I want to get into real estate, but those
Hey,
kind of things require a little bit more money to get started. So yeah, I'm
man.
just ambitious to do anything, but right now I'm just trying to work with what I like, what's working for me.
No, for sure, bro. And I mean, I don't know if I told you, dude, but I mean, I work here at a Realtor Academy, man, where they actually you go to take classes to get, you know, take your test and get licensed, dude. But
Oh, nice.
you know, there's a lot of people. I mean, it's cool, man, because a lot of people that are there. I mean, we get like a lot of retirees. We get a lot of younger men and women that just want to, you know, do something, you know, and it's always a plus because I mean, it's something. I mean, of course, you gotta renew it every year, or you got to go back and take some courses. But I mean, for the most part, it's always going to be part of you. And you know, whether you're doing, you know, selling houses or flipping cars or you can be doing 10 things, you know, it's always going to be some money coming in. And, you know, but yeah, bro, I mean, I like it, man. And I mean, For me, dude, I'll put this out there, but I mean, shit, back in the day, bro, like I was that kid in school that was selling chamoy and Chinese candy, bro. I'm hustling, bro. I was making money, dude. I was like,
Yeah.
8, 9 years old. Like, my parents used to go to the flea market, and it was wild, dude, because we lived on the side of town where, like, I guess kids didn't go to the flea market. The parents, you know what I mean? They were too good. I don't know, man, but because we did, we go out there. I would buy like those big bags of Chinese candy, chamoy, and come Monday, bro, I was like the plug, dude. Like, hey, what do you want? 50 cents, dude, 50 cents, and I mean, I make enough to buy 3 bags, and I keep going, But it's always been in me too to resell, dude. Like make money out of stuff that I mean, I've been fortunate to always run into things, man. I mean, I was a postal employee 15 years, bro, and I was telling one of my coworkers the other day, like, because I was driving around delivering mail, like I would see cars for sale, hey, 500, 800, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'll give you 400, man, cash. Oh, okay, yeah, and I was buying cars. I'd work on them, clean them, park them in front of my house, and put for sale signs for like double it. I was just like making $500 out of it, but I was selling. Parked it up there 2, 3 days. People were like, "Hey, you're selling the car," and I'm like, "Yeah, dude, 1,000 cash, bro. Like titles right there, boom, boom, boom." They drive off, and there I go. Just buy another one, and I was finding them pretty often, dude. So I was always making money. But that's the thing, man. Life, there's always opportunity, man. There's always ways to make money. It's like people. I mean, when I hear people say they can't find a job, I'm like, dude, why don't you create one? I
Yep.
mean, I can get a lot. I can get a lawnmower, a weed eater, and start walking down my street and open my own lawnmower service. It's that simple, man. I mean, there's money out there. It's just being able to want to go out there and get that money. It's like everybody wants free handouts. Everybody wants easy money, and those that get it, great. Good for them. But it's like the rest of us. We got to go out there and hustle it, dude. But I'm not afraid to get dirty, bro. So if it pays, I'm like, dude, like I'll do it. As long as they're paying.
Amen.
But man, but of course, man. I mean, you are in Austin, man. I mean, have you ever been to San Antonio, bro?
Yeah, actually, it's been a little while. I haven't been down there. Man, I don't remember the last time. It was probably like a couple months ago. But yeah, I think one of my wife and I's anniversary. I think we went down there to Riverwalk and we did a bunch of stuff. I think actually the first time I think we went down there, I think there's like a Fogo de Chao, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think we I forgot what we were doing. We were doing something, and I think we were like dressed like very casual. I was wearing like some slides or whatever. Like, oh, this place looks cool. And then we step up in there. It was like this really nice restaurant. I'm like,
You're like tightening up.
yeah, I was like, oh man, this is cool. And then I got the whatever that experience is where they bring you
Yeah.
meat every couple minutes, and my wife got full in like the first couple minutes. I was just chowing it down, but now I really like San Antonio. It's really beautiful. I really like the area, and that's like another spot I was kind of thinking about moving down to, but I think that was some down the line because there's some really beautiful places. I think it's pretty green down there, right? You can
Yeah.
drive a little bit more. You can kind of get more in like the I guess I want to say country, but maybe a little bit more privacy.
Oh yeah, man. I mean,
Than that.
there's so many different small towns around here, bro. Like you can, like you said earlier, you're driving to Austin, it's like 30 minutes. Same here. You can
Mm-hmm.
drive 30 minutes south and you're out there in the middle of nowhere. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's houses and people, but it's just like, I mean, the back roads. Picking up my kids. They left with their mom, and I mean, making the drive all the way out there to Elmendorf, man. I would take the back roads coming back because it was peaceful, it was quiet. I would just turn the radio, roll my windows down, and sounds like a country song, but that's what it was, man. I would just enjoy the comfort just heading back here, dude. But yeah, same here, man. I mean, of course, we live here in the city, man. I mean, we're nowhere outside. I mean, that was one of the things we were looking at ourselves because it was like I wanted to live far enough to where we could still come over here, but yet far enough to where people wouldn't go visit us, bro.
Mm.
I kind of
Yeah,
wanted to be like,
I like that. That's funny. Yeah, that's
yeah,
cool. I need to start using that. Close enough where, or close enough where I can go visit, but far enough so people can't come
yeah,
visit. That's
like
funny.
they
I
ain't
like
gonna drive
that.
out there
That's
to
cool.
see me, and I'm like, dude, I love my tranquility, man. I mean, people ask me, I'm not that I'm ever like all the time home, but it's just like for me, I have everything I need here, man. Like, I mean, if
Hmm.
I ever bought property and bought a house, like it would be that I would have whatever I needed would be there in that property. I wouldn't have to leave anywhere, I mean,
Hmm.
if I was lucky to work from home, even better, but yeah, dude, that's my thing, dude. I wanna, be in peace and just enjoy life. When it comes home, it's home. I don't want noise. I don't want drama. I don't want people coming over here throwing their dirty laundry and everything else, dude. Like, but
Yeah.
but yeah, man. But of course, bro. And I mean, being in Austin, man. I mean, hopefully we'll be able to meet up someday, man. And You know, I mean, when it comes to the brand, I mean, I'm more than sure it is going to keep growing. You know, you got some great athletes behind you. I mean, as far as endorsements, you pushing your product, but at the same time, man, I mean, just the name itself, and you know, the fact that you are going to be coming up with different designs and throwing them out there on the website, you know, that's definitely a plus, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No, not
Yeah,
a
really
problem,
excited
brother.
for it.
And of course, I mean, you are. I think are you going on vacation? Or you told me you were heading somewhere?
Yeah, actually, well, what is it today? Wednesday, right? Yeah, I'm gonna. So Saturday, my wife and I are gonna be driving down to Galveston. You know, just be down there beforehand, and then Sunday we're taking off to. I don't remember the order. I have to ask my wife, but we're going to Mexico, Roatan, and Honduras for like a
Oh,
week.
damn.
So I'm so excited. I've only been on one cruise, and that cruise was when I graduated high school. It was a little gift from my grandpa.
Ooh,
Um, but it's been my wife's first cruise, so she's even more excited than I am. And yeah, it's got full inclusive. We got the alcohol package and everything. Nice upgraded room.
nice,
Um,
man.
yeah, didn't get Wi-Fi because we want to just be like
Yeah.
full like vacation mode. So I'm
Oh
gonna be
yeah, man.
MIA for
Oh,
like a week. So I already know people are gonna be losing their mind thinking where'd I go. So
no, no, yeah. You see, man, and that's kind of like that's exactly what I've been. You know, one of these days, man, we're gonna take one too, man, because I love the water, bro. I mean, I love swimming. I love being in it. You know, I lived in Florida. I lived in the beach, man. Like I love going out there swimming every day. And it's just like here being in San Antonio. I mean, the closest thing is like a swimming pool or a public park, and I ain't doing that, you know. But if it's an ocean, if it's the river, man, like I'm game. But you know, it's like I told my girl, I said, man, I want to go be in the boat in the middle of nowhere and just be floating, dude. Like that'd be enough for me to just, you know, be in the dock on the floor. I don't care, but it's just like, man, I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy the peace. You know, like I said earlier, the tranquility, man. I want to be able to just enjoy myself and just be calm, you know. But yeah, man. I mean, after you guys come back, I definitely want your. I mean, I know you've been on one before, but the detail as far as I went, because I'm definitely looking forward to that, dude. I want to jump on that myself, man.
yeah, yeah, I'm so excited. I'm just ready. I need it, man. Been a rough couple months, so I need a little bit of time to just unwind and
No,
just
heck
enjoy
yeah,
it.
dude. Yeah, well, that's dope, man. Well, dude, I mean, of course, I wanted to bring you on here, plug you in. I will be bringing you back. You know, when you guys get back, we'll get back in touch. I mean, once you get your signal back, you know, you'll be able to text me, dude, or hit me up. But yeah, man. But I want to thank you, bro. Thank you for jumping on here. And I mean, of course, like we mentioned, that you're going to be giving a giveaway before the fight week of UFC 308. So those that are watching, listening to this, definitely follow up on Facebook and Instagram. Nvious, of course, on Facebook, Nvious.io on Instagram. Follow the guy. Anything you want to say before we wrap this up, bro?
This first and foremost, thank you for having me over. This is pretty cool.
Yes,
It
bro.
really was pretty chill, you know, just having a conversation. I was pretty nervous at first, but I think as you know, it progressed, it got pretty easy. So I'm really looking forward to doing these more often. It's pretty fun, and yeah, just I hope you have a good rest of your week, man, and looking forward to being on here again.
No, no, for sure, brother. Stay in the shade, man. Don't hang up yet, brother. Everybody out there, of course, once again, this is Spider, DeFi Car Podcast.